Peeps, for once I do not have to start with the content advisory. Welcome back, finally, after almost 2 weeks, to Cinderella Phenomenon Evermore. And since it has been, well, a very long time since the last part, so, we're just gonna go actually straight to business. So, yeah, it's a little bit different than usual. Not only in terms of gameplay, and also one more update, actually. Hold on. Yeah, that's right. I'm actually on break right now. So, got more games that I could actually play this time. So, a little different. Different in setting, but also, well, Tobias Tantalus is having a little bit of fun for Memorial Day weekend, so I'm actually with a friend too. Say hello.
Hello. Should I use my first name or that name back when we were doing the radio show?
Well, whatever you want to do.
I'll be mysterious for now. Hello, everybody. My name is Crow's Nest. And it's nice to be here.
Yay! So, if you remember her from back in the day, when I did Jotun Valhalla Edition, which I may replay on the channel at some point in the future, but a bit more in depth, she was commenting for quite a bit of that playthrough. So, she is joining me for this episode of Cinderella Phenomenon Evermore. In terms of what roles you're going to play, I have no idea.
We'll find out. I have watched a lot of these that you do with your usual collaborator.
Yeah.
So we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, so this is gonna be pretty fun. So let's go ahead and load up this save file here. I'm gonna reduce this window. I usually do that, so that way it keeps going. Okay, so what I do remember was that there was that prison sentence thing that we had to do.
Yes.
And there was the birthday thing.
Okay, and then you had to explain that to me after the fact because I was confused. And I let you know I was confused. And it has something to do with him maybe having an evil persona. Or alter or something.
Sort of, yeah.
Like it might be something else. It might be him. It might be him without inhibitions. Ambiguous currently.
Oh, it's different guy altogether.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was that a different
character altogether?
Crud. Okay. I do remember the prison sentencing though. Very clear on that one.
It was with Claude with Karma. So here.
Okay. So Claude. Okay.
Yeah. So Claude is the Beauty and the Beast curse. So, whereas Fritz, the person you were thinking of,
yes.
That was, oh, I think that was Red Riding Hood?
Okay.
Because there was the wolf persona of Varg.
Oh, okay.
Alright, so let me see. I'm trying to refresh myself because it's been like 2 weeks.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Since I did it, so let's see.
You're explaining this to me too, then
yeah.
feel free to take
So essentially, so in this case, in the last one we did, magic basically no longer exists because the crystals basically destroyed. They destroyed each other.
Okay.
So this time, magic does exist. So she wants to reduce the incidence of conflict between witches and humans in particular.
Right, I kind of remember this with the prison sentencing, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Because there were those people who attacked her, I think.
Yeah, they kidnapped her or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big deal.
So they're basically debating about how to settle these affairs. So what would you do? So what would you do if a threat came to Angel with the witches? Let's see. Whew. Okay, let's see. Situation. Hypothetical scenario. A threat to the kingdom of Angel stands at the outskirts of the country. The threat is a group of dangerous witches. Which it's kind of awkward considering that Lucette is a witch herself. And is the Tenebrar bearer on top of it.
So, wait, the main character or like...
The main character, yeah.
Okay, so the main character's a witch, okay.
Yeah, the main character's a witch and also the controller of the crystal. So she's basically been trying to like keep the peace, but obviously it's not very easy.
And also she does kind of have a vested interest in keeping the peace.
Exactly. Yeah, she is the crown princess, after all.
Well, that, and also she herself is a witch, so...
Yeah.
Awkward. Very awkward.
Yeah. So I was she's gonna be thinking about it a lot. So in this case, so basically Claude wants to meet this with neutrality, essentially, where he decides to make aggression against the witches a last resort, even though they've already harmed citizens.
Okay.
Would rather like speak with like an allied witch before passing judgment over them.
So the idea is like so if I'm following him correctly, he is opting not to attack the group of witches who attack the citizens to avoid escalation.
Yeah.
And then he is also kind of making so basically if an individual witch is brought to the court before them, like law-wise, he is going to like question them before, immediately being like, you're guilty.
Right, exactly.
Okay, well that part's cool. Good job, Claude.
But then obviously, being a worst case scenario kind of thing, the king has to ramp up the scenario, saying like, how would you explain to the townsfolk then? Because like, I get your logic, but would the townspeople get it?
Right.
What if many of the citizens still worry of witches because of the war? Because there was a fairy tale cursed war prior to all of this. What if they would rather push for the death penalty?
Well, this reminds me of the Poppy War, where like in that one class, he basically had to explain to the main character like that there was no solution.
Exactly.
Her solution was a solution, but she would lose all of the town folk support, and so it was basically akin to not having a solution at all.
Exactly. And then, well, Claude once again says like that kind of decision would be inhuman, because like the death penalty would basically be off the table, because like everybody needs to be tried equally with magic or not. Which very human, they gotta be tried equally under this law.
Okay, so Claude so far is bringing up what I feel are like some fairly good points.
Yeah, and
the king is basically asking him, well, think this out to its full conclusion, like.
Yeah, exactly, and it's like Lucette's been trying to like heal the rift between the magical folks and humans. So like if they were judged unequally, that could cause more problems.
Resentment.
And then and said like, what would you do if you face this? Then like he would consult with the Lucis and the Tenebrar bearers, which would basically be the main character Lucette and her, I guess you could probably say mentor Parfait, since they are both the Lucis and the Tenebrar bearers essentially. So like they would know the situation pretty well, so that way they can fix the situation. But obviously they're also going to part towards like keeping the citizens safe, but like nothing extreme should happen until like every single angle has been looked at.
Okay.
But then here's the most extreme scenario. The most extreme scenario is what if the Lucis and Tenebrar bearers were absolutely unavailable? What would you do? Like if you basically you had to be the one to make the final call, how would you do it? And this is where this is really up to right now, which is, do I keep my mouth shut, or do I help him out in this case?
Okay, well let's talk this through, I guess, since that seems to be the goal of these different choice moments. If we choose to assist him, do we have a clear idea of how we would want to answer ourselves?
No. Because oftentimes, like, we often get the answer during the progress of the story, where it's meaning exactly Claude would respond. Like, I think it's like it's pretty obvious what the king is trying to do, which is like, if you basically were the sole person making these decisions, how would you decide the fate of not only the magical beings in this kingdom, but also the townspeople? Like, how would you look at this? will you hold your ground all the way through with this non-violent scenario, or would you actually come to blows?
Do we lose anything from remaining silent?
I mean, I'm tempted to remain silent, actually thinking about it now, because there was a thing with his brother Llama, Prince Lance, where he thought that we were intervening too much. So I'm kind of wondering, since he's the Crown Prince, well, once Crown Prince of Brigantia, now Crown Prince of Angiel, would it be just much better to see what he answers, since he actually has the experience that Lucette has at being crowned royal, essentially.
Well, I would be interested. Like, that's why I asked if we had anything to lose, because if nothing else, we're going to learn what he thinks.
Yeah, like, I would like to learn what he thinks, so I am going to remain silent here, and well, let's just see what happens. I mean, I did save it here, too, so if I wanted to redo it...
If we want to go back, we can.
Yeah, but so far we haven't really done that, so... Okay. It's not my place to speak. The king may have called me here, but this is Claude's test. Besides, I trust that he knows how to answer.
Well, that's a good sign. I feel the dialogue's a good sign here.
Claude finally speaks, a little hesitantly at first. With all due respect, Your Majesty, a king rules for the people, yes? Even if he was just a human king, he has the responsibility to oversee the safety of all civilians in his kingdom, human or not. Thus, I would say it is necessary that he seek guidance from others. The kingdom has a responsibility to work with the witches to solve this problem. Wow, Claude, you are firm! Way to go!
Huh. It's interesting. Sorry, I just want to... Okay, on the one hand, he definitely just did a zinger to the king right now, and I can respect that. On the other hand, the king did bring up a valid point, which is, what if you can't consult anyone else? And he still hasn't really answered that question. Right. Which I feel that the king, with his stern face, is probably going to pick up on.
Okay, but let's see what happens here.
But that being said, like, I can respect this guy.
Yeah, like, the fact that, like, he's still able to, like, think of, like, I didn't think of that, like, go for more of, like, the actual townspeople themselves for consultation. Like, that's actually pretty smart. Yeah. Like, I didn't think of that. Yeah. But yeah.
Oh, Claude's still talking.
Yeah. Such collaboration is vital to maintaining peace. Which is very true, actually. Yeah. To skew the balance even more by condemning a group of witches to death would not just be a fool's move, it would be an echo of the same heartlessness that started the war in the first place. The king looks at him thoughtful. When the Great War broke out, Brigantia was uninvolved. Father's always disliked war. He has always believed that violence only begets more violence. It is for this reason we did not come to anyone's aid in the previous skirmish. Okay, I'm learning something new here. I heard about the notorious Hilda growing up. Stories were rated in beauty and strength, of her intimidating but regal existence.
Okay, whenever the king talks, I'm getting that.
Deal.
Claude talks a lot.
When those stories became tales of a woman whose heart was made of ice, I was not fearful. I was saddened. I often wondered what could be done to bring such a noble figure to madness. I've met a good many witches in Angiel, and I can say with pure conviction that there are many that can be trusted, even despite the current divide. A king may wear a crown on his head and have the final say, but he must always take advice from those that have more experience than him. It is so strange to see Claude so humble. Speaking outside of hypotheticals, Your Majesty, I am extremely lucky. Lucette will make the perfect queen. She's a natural-born ruler who has learned balance better than any of us. You still manage to be a flatterer no matter the situation. I say that, but I cannot help but smile. At first, there is no immediate response to Claude's words. Father looks thoughtful as he strokes his chin, taking in his words. Then, abruptly, he laughs. Why am I not surprised, you trickster King Gennaro? Claude flushes faintly. Did I speak out of line, Your Majesty?
No, not at all. I'm just amused. I do not know the Brigantian king well, but on the occasions that I have met with him, He has spoken just as you have. He is a man that upholds his morals no matter the danger. Some may see it as selfishness or naivete, but in the end, he has always strived for balance and peace. That's the reason you took up the sword, isn't it? To protect the peace.
The flush on Claude's cheeks becomes a dark pink. Seeing him so embarrassed in front of the king makes me smirk. Yes, Your Majesty. I should also mention that he plays with swords because he finds them flashy. Wait to call her out on that, Lucette. Oh my god. Oh. Lucette, darling. The king laughs before waving the comment off with a smile. This is too cute, but too funny at the same time.
I am not worried about you, either of you. When the time comes for you to wear crowns, I know that this kingdom will be in capable hands.
It is a blessing that I still have Father here to help guide my hand. I've always been prepared to take the responsibility of Queen, but I also know that it is a very heavy weight. I am glad that I am closer with Father now, so I can seek his counsel. And is my phone going off?
I didn't hear anything.
Ah, I guess not.
The two of you are excused.
Your Majesty?
That is all I required of you today, Claude. The same goes for you, Lucette. I will let you know when I have rescheduled the meeting with the advisors.
Both Claude and I sigh out in unison when the king excuses us. The two of us barely left our seats when the king speaks again.
I am sorry, Lucette.
Sorry?
I hope you didn't find that scenario offensive in any way.
Perhaps once I might have, but I understand Father's reasoning. I am glad he is making an effort to understand my feelings, at least.
I never meant to imply you were not doing a good job keeping the balance as the Tenebar bearer. I'm proud of you and the work you put into this kingdom.
Thank you, Your Majesty.
I wouldn't mind being called father every once in a while.
The two of us exchanged smiles before I turned back to Claude. By the time I turn around, however, he's already at the doors. Even as I watch, he passes through them without glancing back. My earlier contentedness fades away into agitation. He is not getting away. I hurriedly say my farewells to the king before rushing out the door after Claude. Claude has only made it a few steps down the hallway when I hold my hand and gather ice in my fingertips. The ice gathers at Claude's feet and roots him into place. Yeah, did I mention that she likes ice magic?
You did not. That's okay.
Not so fast, coward prince. Lucette, love, did you stop me just so you could tell me how impressed you were with my performance in there? He seems to be about to say something else before he stops to look at me. The glow on my face must be intense, for it makes good cheer wither away immediately. Explain? Now. Oh, you mean about the... Claude stops to glance at someone approaching behind me. I barely have any time to follow his gaze before I notice that Lance stepped in between us, frowning. Karma? Llama? Lance narrows his eyes at him. I challenge you. What? I challenge you to... Excuse me? Lance's eyes widen when he sees me standing there. He eyes the ice on my fingertips, then his brother's feet, before gravely stepping back with an apologetic smile.
Can I read the lines?
Sure.
Sorry, I got so riled up I didn't even realize you were standing there, Princess Lucette.
You should freeze his feet into the ground for that, Lucette. I ignore Claude and turn to Lance. I need to speak with Claude about something important, Lance. So unless this challenge of yours cannot wait, I would prefer you come back later.
My apologies. It's typical Brugantian tradition to challenge those who you want to prove yourself to.
Lance narrows his eyes at Claude. I think I know what he's referring to now.
That is why I am here to challenge you, Claude.
In the end, he is so riled up he completely ignored me. Not a way to get along with the in-laws. Claude looks at him for a few moments disgruntled. Then he smirks. Usually I'm the one to challenge you, but if you insist, you're going to have to let me choose the challenge. I forgot the last time you chose chess.
It wasn't my fault people were cheering for me because I had the better disposition.
Do you know how difficult it is to win at chess when people are cheering at you? Lance inclines his head toward me.
Why don't we let the princess select the challenge?
Claude looks like he's about to protest before he notices the frown on my face. Fine. After you select this challenge, I'll tell you everything you want to know, Lucette. No more running. You promise? I promise. Trying to either put them in a level playing field or give Claude the advantage.
Wait, which one would be giving Claude the advantage?
Sword fighting.
Oh, that feels weird. I don't know. Oh gosh, I'm trying to avoid nepotism here. But on the other hand...
I mean, considering they're both good at it, and also I kind of want to give Lance a shot at, feeling like he could take on his authority as Crown Prince. Because, for context, Lance is actually the second son. But because Carmar at one point disappeared due to the fairy tale curse, and now he's marrying Lucette, who is the Crown Princess of Angiel. She can't really travel anywhere because she's Tenebrarum bearer. So he basically had to give up his Crown Princehood to Brigantia to Lance,
so that he could marry her.
Yeah, and now he's actually the Crown Prince of Angiel instead.
Okay.
So Lance, as a result, because I think even though they had mostly the same education, it was mostly under the assumption that he was not going to be next in line.
Okay, fair enough.
But now he is.
Well, basically, here's my concern. I feel like, okay, obviously, Claude's not going to be happy if they're playing chess. On the other hand, it's a level playing field.
Yeah.
And if we get... Sword fighting feels like something like that you would do as a petty teenager, not as someone ruling a country.
Yeah, I'm also leaning towards chess because, again, I kind of want to give Lance a little bit of a chance to finally have some sense of authority when he... Actually, I think I've already made a decision. Yeah, I think I'm going to lean towards chess because, they're both good at the game, but, and also on top of that, because it's an Angiel, they can level the playing field.
Yeah, that's true. He's no longer being surrounded by people who hate him.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah.
So, I'm leaning towards chess, too.
Chess the redemption.
Yeah. So that way, yeah, it also just gives me a chance to, Lance to, prove himself.
That, too.
As a crown prince.
I don't have a chess game. It doesn't.
Yeah.
Terrible.
But Lucette, I can't imagine why you would play with an audience in the first place. But there should be no problems if the two of you play with just each other. But Lucette, an audience is always necessary. I agree. Oh, wait.
I agree. Victory's no fun unless you have an audience there to witness the loser's defeat.
Oh, good lord.
Empty little brat.
The two men glare at each other. I stifle a sigh. Fine. If I'm not enough of a witness, then we will have Rod and Emmeline there as well. Fine. But no cheering allowed.
I have no complaints. I accept your challenge.
Now, I somehow just need to convince Rod and Emmeline to be there. Good. Now that you have two decided on a challenge, you are done. If you don't mind, Lance, I have business with my fiancé. Lance bobs his head politely at me.
Of course. Thank you for your assistance, Princess Lucette.
Yeah, they upped the quality with this game. He flashed me a grateful smile before turning away, not even bothering to say anything to his brother. Bridgerton fans, you know what I'm thinking. Once Lance is gone, I turn to Claude with my eyebrows raised. You told me before you would tell me what was happening between you and Lance. You would tell me what was been bothering you. You have been insisting that you are fine when you are not. And because of you, I've been having nightmares. You have? You said, I had no idea. I apologize. If you're sorry, then you will tell me what's going on. Claude nods his head at me slowly, defeated. After smelling the ice at his feet, I half pull him back to my room. When we return, I take a seat by the window while Claude makes himself comfortable at the piano bench. As always, you're trying to run from your responsibilities. I must disagree with you. I've shirked no responsibilities. But you have. You have a responsibility to tell me when something is wrong. We made a promise 2 years ago there would be no more secrets between us. Oof. For a few moments, Claude only looks at me quietly. He looks somewhere between melancholy and thoughtful, almost like he is lost in his own reverie. When he finally does speak, he looks calmer. Allow me to start off first by apologizing. There are 2 reasons I never said anything. The first is simple. I thought that these feelings I had would be fleeting. I didn't expect them to cling to me so persistently. And my second reason? He sighs. Every person has their share of pride. I know what I'm feeling is petty, which is why I'd rather not have brought it up to you. Is he jealous?
Probably. That usually gets sorted under petty. At least he knows it's petty. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't... People's emotions are weird.
Yeah, at least he's self-aware with that, but let's see what it is. I furrow my eyebrows at Claude. Claude, you know you can always talk to me. I'd rather you tell me things openly without having to pry them out of you. Unless you'd rather I shock the truth out of you. Oh yeah, I forgot. She also does electricity as well, but very last resort kind of thing. Anyway, a small strand of electricity travels up my arm by accident when I say that, but Claude seems to think I've called it on purpose. He shrinks back. I think I'd rather not make you angry. The last time you were irritated, you sliced off my hair! No wonder this looks so full. Anyway, he pulls a hand absently to the back of his neck and grumbles. You deserve that. Turning your back on someone during a fight is antagonizing. Claude sighs. I'm sorry, I'm just in the habit of keeping things secret. I told you before that my mother and father are all about appearances, haven't I? Father believes that keeping things to oneself is a good way to show self-discipline and control. I've always lived by those words. It wasn't until I met you that I began to realize how important sharing the truth was. He leans back against the piano, eyes narrowed slightly in thought. Finally, he shrugs his shoulders. If you want the pathetic truth, then I'll share it willingly. My current irritation comes from my lack of self-confidence. My brother's and mine. What? Hard to believe, isn't it? I think back to the way Claude interacted with the king in the throne room. To me, he seemed quite at ease. He crossed his arms and groans. Ugh, Lance is like a mirror. What? Whenever he's here, I cannot help with the things I left behind and the responsibilities I have before me. And not only that, but Lance's insecurities remind me of my own. They stem from the lack of confidence and leading, and mine stem from being inadequate at following. All my life I've been trained to be the Brigantian king. I was a good student. I could afford missing my lessons because I was naturally gifted. I don't mean to gloat, I swear. Of course not. He sighs. Anyway, here every lesson is a struggle. Your father holds different opinions on politics and responsibilities. Sometimes when I'm sitting in the council listening to them make decisions based off of Angiel's history, I feel out of my element. Staying with you in NGL is my choice. And I wouldn't change it for the world, but sometimes I miss home. I miss the comfort and the responsibilities that I know. So, the reason you were so irritated at Lance earlier was just because you were jealous of him? So I was kind of right, but
Yeah,
just
at a different angle.
Yeah, different angle though. That explains a lot. I suppose if you want to simplify the problem, yes, but jealousy is such an ugly word. He runs a hand through his hair and sighs. My most dreadful days kind of help I feel like God was easy to replace in the first place. Lance has always been well liked by everyone. But you and Lance are nothing alike. No, not at all, but I at least know he's just as capable of being competent. Yet when I see him now, being so insecure of himself, I feel doubly irritated. If he's going to take me up the title that I've been training for all my life, the least that he could do is take it seriously. So in the end, you are worried about him. Claude looks at me, surprised. Am I wrong? You worry about him, and you worry about yourself. The more I talk about it, the pettier it seems. This is why I didn't want to bring it up in the first place. Whew. Tricky. Alright. Well, he can take a joke.
Okay.
Because I do it all the time.
It is tricky because sometimes if you sympathize with someone and it like convinces them that it's serious, when it might not be. Like, I don't know. One time, well, I'm not talking about that while we're recording. But you know, it might I don't know. My first reaction is to sympathize with him because sometimes when you tease someone and it is about something sensitive, then it's
right.
Then it goes poorly. But the reason I start with the other one is because it can technically go the other way.
True.
Where if you sympathize with them, it legitimizes something that might not be legitimate, but then again, their feelings are legitimate. Question mark.
Yeah. Oh, this is tricky.
Incidentally, next time we're hitting a decision, you're obviously free to continue, but I'm probably going to tap out.
It's hard. This is the thing with this game. It's like the harder, the further along you go, the harder it gets. Not like the first decisions are any easier, but I think it's also because on top of that, if you've played the first game too, you kind of have an idea of what they're kind of thinking. But I've been 2 weeks out, so I don't have the same know-how as I did before, so there's that.
Oh, I did save it.
I did save it.
You did save it.
I did save it.
You did.
I guess I'm gonna sympathize since it seems to be our first instinct.
Okay, sure.
Let's give that a shot. I stand up and walk toward him. There was a time when I felt those same things. My life was plagued by jealousy and homesickness. I moved to sit beside him on the bench. When Delora cursed me 2 years ago, I thought my life was over. I may have had an empty life in the palace, but it was still my life. I've been accustomed to playing my role, to living my life. And then suddenly, all of that was taken from me. Though I've never voiced this opinion aloud, I was always jealous of Emmeline, who had taken my spot. Even before then, the townsfolk always spoke more fondly of her than they did of me. I feared that she was trying to steal my crown even then. I meant to make him think better by sympathizing with him, but now it's even sadder. Suffice it to say, I felt the same way back then that you do now. The circumstances were different, and the lifestyle change was not a choice, but... I smile at him. I know how you're feeling regardless, so I could sympathize. It wasn't until you started sympathizing with me that I had to come to terms with those feelings. You've always been more honest than I have, Lucette. Even now you put me to shame.
What?
He sighs. Some habits are hard to break. Yes, but once you try to make an effort to break them, you'll find that you're better off without them. Besides, I stand up from the bench to look at him. You may think keeping your emotions tucked away makes you appear more confident, but I know better than anyone else when you are hiding something. Yes, because you're my fiancé, right?
Oh, we did work in some teasing.
Of course. And also because I'm the Lieutenant Barroom Bearer. You couldn't hide anything negative from me even if you wanted to. Because the Lieutenant Barroom Bearer, detects negative energy, so... If he felt something pretty bad, she would know!
Dang it!
A fair point. In retrospect, this whole problem was far more exaggerated than it needed to be. Club winks at me. Of course the
Shonen sparkles.
Shonen sparkles! I never do anything half-heartedly, darling.
Okay, good. We got some teasing.
I am relieved that the gloomy mood from earlier is dissipated. One of the good things about Claude is he usually recognizes when he is in the wrong and tries his best to remedy the situation quickly. He is just stubborn. He's going to rely on me more. What happened to the sophistication you displayed in the throne room earlier? Oh, I am always the picture of sophistication. Right. Trying.
Matanda, how deep in this have you gotten?
Too deep, apparently. Oh god.
He's in too deep.
Oh god. Tell me if you happen to be watching this, you are going to be laughing so hard. God's smile becomes softer. I'm still recovering from the fact I actually got that right. Oh my gosh. Woo! Anyway, thank you, Lucette. I think I needed that talk. It is ironic that Claude is the one that taught me that secrets are dangerous, but he himself is still learning to share them. You don't need to thank me, but shouldn't you apologize to Lance? Claude's expression snaps into something somber. Nonsense. Lance and I will figure out this out as we always do, by competing one-on-one. Passionate challenges always encourage Lance to spill the contents of his heart for other people. I'm not the only one in my family who's good at keeping secrets, you know.
The moment Claude became engaged to you, I became next in line for the Brugantian throne. Father has been waiting for me to give a speech officially announcing that.
And how is the speech going?
Terribly. I die a slow death in front of large crowds. Claude has always been better at the spotlight than I have. I prefer speaking to people one-on-one. Large crowds are terrifying.
It's kind of funny considering the chess match. Is it possible there was more to that worry than Lance was letting on? Don't worry about Lance. I never provoke him when I need him to talk to me. It's my responsibility as an older brother to set him straight, after all. You two are both so problematic. You said it, Lucette! You said it! You said it! You said it! Well, we are brothers. I'm just lucky that I have a certain lovely witch here to listen to my woes. Thank you for that, Lucette. With that, the heart of the problem at least is solved. The both of us are both able to go on our own ways with confidence.
Well, sorry, just a complete long-term transition. I got nervous.
Things have finally winded down for the day when I make my way back to my bedroom. I'm almost there when I stop seeing two familiar faces. Oh, Lucette!
Good evening, Princess Lucette.
Both Emmeline and Lance smile at me. Hello, Emmeline. Hello, Lance. I glance between the two of them, curious. Are the two of you on some nighttime stroll? Oh, no. Prince Lance is assisting with a dance lesson. A dance lesson? Normally Rod helps with dancing, but since we've been learning a Brigantian style dance this week, I had Lance assist me instead.
In exchange for the extra dance lessons, Emmeline has been helping me with some other things.
Other things?
Do you know how sus you sound, Lance?
Are you heading back now? I am. I saw Claude pass by earlier. You seemed in better spirits than before. Lance's expression darkens at the mention of his brother.
Harmony.
Emmeline looks at him curious. Oh, right. You have that challenge with him in a few days. It seems they figured out a time then. Lance narrows his eyes.
I will destroy him.
Oh boy. Oh my. Again, what?
Emmeline reminds me of that one video about a cheesecake delivery. Do you want cheesecake or not, Ginger?
And here I thought Ron and I were competitive. Anyway, we're going to head out now. Good night, Lucette. The two of us passed me by, and two of them passed me by. Woof. And I continue my way to my bedroom. The first thing I see upon entering the room is Claude standing in front of the wardrobe, looking deep in thought. He mumbles lightly and casts a glance over his shoulder at me as I enter. What? No knock? Not when this is my room, no. He pauses briefly, his eyes fixated on me for some reason. Without even realizing it, I grasp the pendant at my neck. What? Is there something on my face? I just noticed you were wearing the necklace. It was a birthday gift. My fingers loosen around the pendant. Why wouldn't I be wearing it? It's become my most valuable possession after all. I can see the recognition in Claude's eyes when I laugh. He glances again at the necklace, eyes soft. I'm glad I could get you something that you can always wear around. That's for me. He returns his attention to the closet. Looking for something? Yes, one of my nightshirts. He sighs and squints into the wardrobe. I already know what shirt he is looking for, and I'm amazed that he's not already found it considering that I can spot it on the bed. I do this all the time! It's like...
Hashtag relatable.
Yeah, it's like, where's my phone? And my phone is literally, like, right in front of me. I slowly inch my way toward the shirt as he closes the closet doors. I manage to grab it and hide it behind my back just as he turns around. Lucette, have you seen... He stops when he notices the way I'm standing against the bed. Slowly he begins to make his way over to me, a casual smile on his face. I wonder where it could be. He stops right in front of me and then, without any words at all, attempts to grab the shirt from behind me. I dodge out of the way just in time and circle the bed to put some distance between us. He raises an eyebrow. What's this? Are we playing some kind of game now?
I don't know, are they?
A game? This is no game. I'm just getting back at you for keeping secrets from me. I try my best to frown at him, but to no avail. The smile keeps coming back to my lips, no matter how much I try to force it off. Perhaps if you ask me very nicely for the shirt, I shall return it. Claude takes a step forward and lays a hand on his chest. Lucette, my love, would you please return my shirt? Dramatics aside, I cannot help but cave in his pleading gaze. I'm about to hand the shirt to him when he reaches forward and once with motion snatches it straight out of my hands. Hey! Claude shrugs it out of his coat with a coy smile. You should know better than to let your guard down in front of me, darling. He turns his back to me and pulls off his shirt and reaches for the other one. Let my guard down in front of him? Hardly. I approach him swiftly before he can react, push him down to the bed. He has a few moments to stare at me, baffled before I pin him down. Who's letting their guard down now? Are you sure I didn't let my guard down on purpose? I roll my eyes at him when he grins and lean down to plant a kiss on his lips. I loosen my grips on his wrists, but only enough so that I could lace them through his fingers. Before I realize it, I'm lying beside him rather than looming above him. If I'm being honest, I'm much furthest to you pinning me down to the bed. Why? Does your self-esteem crumble when I get the better of you? Still sharp as a knife's blade, I see. Sharper than you, in any case. Claude opens his mouth to say something, but I do not give him the chance to retort. I seal his lips with a kiss. He pulls me closer and brushes a finger against my lips. Oh boy!
Wait, they're kissing right now. And does he, like, lean back away from the kiss and then put his hand there? Because that feels like a weird extra step there. Just saying.
Look at that visual novel logistics. Anyway. It's truly impressive that you always manage such
Sharp words.
Thank you. It truly is impressive that you always manage such sharp words, even in moments like these. I have to admit that you have the better comebacks. Are you actually admitting that I am better than you at something? I have to give you credit where credit is due. He draws me closer and sets his hand to the small of my back. His lips once again brush mine.
Okay, before you hit the arrow key, sorry.
Yes.
This is bothering me.
What?
Okay. The way her chest is strong.
Oh!
She's lying on her side. I'm sorry. She's lying on her side. And yet. Okay, I'm sorry. It was bothering me. And I needed to say something while we still had the visual evidence.
I'm trying not to. I just feel the heat rising to my cheeks and feeling that I'm blushing quickly buried my head into Claude's chest and cannot see my face. I can feel his laugh vibrate through my body. Your embarrassment is endearing, Lucette. I realize you do this to yourself, though. I have no idea what you're talking about. You remember the last time you sent the rose bath with me? What?
I did not know about this. Okay. Rose bath. Got it.
Rose bath.
And then I'm not reading for Claude, okay? I'm just reading the rest of this line. And then threw a towel at me and screamed when I insisted you join me.
Yeah, for those who remember Waltz's route, y'all know what I'm talking about. Why would you bring that up again? Because seeing your blushing smile is a precious thing. He puts his hand to my face and tilts my head upward gently. His lips are already parted when they meet mine, and they are all I can focus on. I barely noticed when Claude presses his hand down the small of my back, his lips still pressed to mine. He breaks the kiss and trails his lips down the side of my neck. I can feel his warm breath in my ear when he whispers, "Well, I'm assuming you pushed me down for a reason." Oh my god!
I mean, they are engaged.
They are engaged! Oh god! I apologize. Should I just make this a Peggy 18 stream? I don't know.
Okay, this is like so super off topic, but like given what he just said about like feeling like not as confident, it's like a really good thing that she didn't say anything when he was talking to the king.
Yeah.
Dodged a bullet there, we did. Okay, sorry, we can get back to this now.
My heartbeat is too loud for me to even process my whirling thoughts. I decided to let my retort go when Claude pressed his lips to mine again, sending a shiver of warmth down from my head to the rest of my body. Whew!
And then they fade to black.
And then they fade to black. The burden of responsibilities falls away from my body that night. All that remains as I fall into the comforting silence is Claude's warmth and his gentle breath at my neck. And with that note...
Oh, is that the end of the chapter?
Yep, chapter 5! The Princess and Her Prince. Whew! A castle made up entirely of witches, Also, part of it looks so much better! Oh my god!
Is her name actually Parfait?
Yeah, her name is actually named Parfait.
Holy cow. But anyway, sorry, keep going.
Delora looks thoughtful as she pulls a mug of hot chocolate toward her. Parfait is seated beside her.
It's been a while. I just figured that.
Oh, go ahead, yeah.
It's been a while since that structure was implemented here.
It has been a few days since Claude and I officially suggested the idea of a council of witches for the king. Claude and I have been discussing the idea ever since we met with him. Today, after cementing the details of that idea, we came to discuss the proposal with Delora and Waltz. It'll be nice to have some structure for a change. It's just Hildur calling the shots during the war. Very one-sided, let me tell you. At the end of the day, your word is law, but you're going to take to our special meetings. I'm sure that the witches will love the idea. All of us are very fond of sharing our opinions, after all. If you're any indication, Delora, absolutely. I look pointedly at Delora. Some more than others. Okay, is this game reading my mind? Seriously.
How deep in this are you?
Does just 3 endings count?
I don't know, man.
There's 5.
Oh, wow, okay.
Delora crosses her arms and snorts. I could say the same about you, princess.
So what inspired the idea?
By getting right to the point. Claude had been standing idly at the bar speaking with a niece, and Waltz turns to look at Parfait. Lucette and I see how biased the human councilor's opinions can be. It doesn't make sense to rely solely on them. Without a council, witches will be able to represent some of the more subdued voices at NGL. You came to a good conclusion, Princeling. What do you think, Waltz?
Okay, I guess I read for Waltz. Okay.
Alright. Waltz had been busy helping a niece with the dishes, looks up and smiles.
It would mean more representation for the witches in the government, wouldn't it? I could never disagree with that. Either way, I would trust Lucetta's opinions on anything.
What of my opinion? Waltz surveys Claude with a mischievous smile.
Well, I suppose for someone who's kid-sized, you are pretty reliable.
It's a running joke because he got the Peter Pan curse. And he's had it for decades. Kid-sized? I assure you that you are still far more a child than I.
I'm taller and older than you.
And you also spend your days playing hide-and-seek with children and putting on magic shows. Waltz laughs.
Better to be an oversized child than a kid-sized one.
Oh, snap! Parfait clears her throat and the two men stop to look at her.
Anyway, I hope that you'll explain the importance of this idea for Cinna when he visits. He's been saying lately that he can't stand to attend meetings with the other fairies.
And, Delora grins. What? Is he calling you useless again?
Actually, he calls them irritating. I think maybe he could learn a thing or two from Lucette's dedication to teamwork.
Cinna would scream if he heard you say that. Cinnamon is Parfait's blood-related cousin. So his full name is Cinnamon, I knew it. He's probably the best candidate for succeeding her as Lucis Bearer despite his young age. Lately, Parfait has been taking him to meetings to teach him more about the bearer's responsibilities. I have met him a few times, and he is temperamental. That's putting it mildly, Lucette.
Well, at least he's still a child.
She casts a fond smile at Claude and Waltz.
Thankfully more of a child than you two are.
Dang, Parfait! I didn't think you would be that... Oh! I'm not sure whether to be offended or not. Delora smirks and shakes her head. Well, ignoring our cinnamon problem. She glances between Claude and I. You two can rest assured that we'll start looking into setting this up properly. She turns to Claude and raises an eyebrow. Sometimes, Prince, you manage to surprise me. I thought you were lazy, but now you're actually quite diligent. I definitely take offense to that. That's fighting words, Lloyd, for you. Oh my god. The room erupts with laughter. Into laughter. Even Anise, who'd been busy in her work, starts to beam at us. As our conversation is drawing to a close, I glance at the clock and notice the time. I recall that we're supposed to meet with Lance soon. We should probably be going now. Claude has important matters to attend to today. Do I? I don't seem to recall. He stopped speaking when I glare at him. Perhaps you need to try a little harder to remember then. Claude only sighs and I grab his arm and pull him out the door at the march in the direction of the challenge venue. The two of us barely made it a few steps into the main plaza when I turned to look at Claude, eyebrows raised. Is there a reason your footsteps are all so heavy and slow? You don't really mean to annoy Lance even more, do you? Of course I do. Don't you purposely try to get on your siblings' nerves sometimes? I love you're no fun. He convenienced me when it came to Angel early, so it's right that I get back at him by showing up to his challenge late. Shouldn't you be the bigger person and... Oh, Lucette, look. He abruptly taps my shoulder and points at the stand selling familiar cupcakes. He already been at this place on multiple occasions. The moment the stall owner ceases looking, he raises his hand in greeting and beams. Let's say we make a quick stop over for a cupcake first. As always, he loves to change the subject. Are you sure it's a good idea? You might not be able to concentrate after eating so much sugar. Nonsense! Sugar can never ruin my concentration.
Okay, I did say I was bowing out after the next decision.
Well, funny you mentioned that, because I'm actually bowing out of this stream.
Oh. Okay.
Because I completed a chapter, that was my main goal here, so, yeah.
Well, I do want to say that Parfait was surprisingly fun to read for. She was coming for the kneecaps.
Yeah! I did not expect that, but...
It reminded me of playing Glinda again.
Yeah, exactly.
Which to clarify, I've never done it in an official capacity, but I did sing with our friend once, and she was Elphaba, so I was the Glinda.
Blonde.
Blonde.
Yeah, I only got to appreciate like Wicked like much later, because like now it's not it's settled as a show for me now. So before, I think it's because like I got really into like. I guess I was like the weird, kind of nerdy emo kid in a way. I realized how emo until I got TikTok, but like, I could not get into it for the longest time because it got so popular. It just felt really weird. But then now that I actually took some time to appreciate what it actually was, I was very off topic right now, but like, I think it's when I actually started to actually enjoy the concept of the show itself. I look forward to seeing what else the author had in mind.
I didn't really get into the show back when it was popular, but that wasn't so much an avoidance of what was popular, more just kind of like illiteracy for theater.
That too.
I think I got into it because I was listening to I kind of started hitting a phase where I was like, I've got to expand my music repertoire. I'm listening to the same 20 songs on loop and it's driving me crazy.
Yeah.
And one thing that I found is that I very much like listening to show tunes, because there's already kind of a built-in story behind the lyrics that I can entertain myself with.
Yeah.
And so Wicked came up on the radar pretty early after that.
Yeah, because like I enjoy musicals a lot. I guess it's also just like I like variety naturally. So if I hear something like too many times after a while, it's just like, oh gosh, please change to something else. For the love of all that is Mozart.
So you had that experience with Wicked then? Where, like,
I had that experience with Wicked.
Around.
It was constantly going on. If it wasn't in choir, it was in dance. If it wasn't dance, then certainly it was a choice of school trip.
I mean, it definitely came up during my high school graduation. That was like, For Good was like the song.
For Good was the one that came up a lot.
Now I'm finding it hilarious. Okay, because you know why. You know why now I find it hilarious. The song For Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know that a few years ago, and it showed. Your experience with the musical, I did not know, and it showed. Okay.
But yeah, so if you want to check out some other stuff, I don't know about Monday. We'll see about that. Maybe we will. The pub is pretty good since, like, it's Memorial Day, so we might actually be able to do a proper Barony stream for once. Whether we'll simulcast it here or just host Toby's stream, we'll see. Parasite Eve Part 11 coming up this Wednesday. Dalen Pocket Planet is actually officially done, but keep an eye out on Tobias Tantalus's YouTube channel, Just Playing Games, or just check out his Discord or anything like that for a notification of when he finally gets the space dog. Then we're gonna have part 15. I need to edit that. Part 15. Hold on. I actually have time to do this. I know, very professional, but again, it is my stream. I can do whatever I want with it. There we go. Now it's corrected. Part 6 of Karma's Route, which I believe should be the wedding episode. So that's pretty exciting.
I've had to do that with my slides so many times as a teacher. I'm an English teacher, so it's extra embarrassing.
So you can imagine how embarrassing it is when I have to do it during a stream, but hey, it is what it is. I mean, I often don't look at like my OBS too often, so that's the problem. Yeah, what was that? Oh yeah, Fiverr shop. Got 2 codes going on. It's Blackout and Beltane. Pretty soon, with the next month coming up, with the summer solstice coming up, there's going to be a new code coming up, so stay tuned for that. Support your local businesses. $10 towards business, the rest goes towards charities. SupportDE.com. They have awesome shirts right there that are produced right in Southern Delaware, so please go check them out. And lastly, the hope is getting bigger and bigger now that I might be able to attend the Star Trek Las Vegas convention in 2021. Everyone's telling me, go see it. It's fun. It's worth it. So, nothing at the bucket list for conventions right here. Here's all my socials in case you were curious. TikTok is starting to get updated again, so please feel free to check out some of the recent ones that I've posted, as well as my Twitch and my YouTube channel. DJ MK Off the Air, I usually simulcast in both channels, as well as my Discord. There's going to be a YouTube video on my second channel, Theological Otaku, coming up very, very soon. So keep an eye out for that. You can also keep an eye out for notifications on my Twitter at DJMK for Life. It's number 4, not FOR. The FOR is for my Spotify. And I'm a blog, myhokunichi.blogspot.com, and my waxgibbouswitch site on Fiverr. Thanks again to Crow's Nest for jumping in on this episode.
It was a pleasure. Throwback.
Yeah! So, everybody stay safe out there. Stay hydrated, especially during the warmer months. Stay dry if it happens to be raining on your end. And, of course, may your heart be your guiding key. Till next time, I'll see you later. Bye!
Bye.